Now it's live.
Welcome to this event. And thank you for taking your lunchtime with us. So I know that you are all busy. I know that lunch is very precious, at least for French people, it's very precious. And you spend your time to be with us and to discover maybe how to have a better overview, how to find the right talent and the right opportunity and to match them all together. We are really happy to be with you today. We are 4 specialists and we are passionate about that, about the fact that we want to help people to feel energized at work and to deliver as much as possible, and we want to help organizations to find the right talent and to have this match and everybody is happy and the life is better. So it's really for all of us, I think, on this call, like the specialists being here, it's what we are all passionate about. So I see a few people being online, so please in the chat tell us who you are, what you do, what you are looking for. If you have already questions, just put that in the chat. We are going to be able to answer hopefully all your questions during this 1 hour. And before continuing, I would suggest to start and sharing who we are, what we do, and I would over to Tobias. Tobias, who would like to start? Who are you? What do you do?
What do I do? I started doing what I do 30 years ago when I joined my first HR job and developed into several different areas and managerial functions. And 13 years ago, I decided to be self-employed. And since then, I'm working as an interim HR manager. I'm an HR generalist, so I help people to develop themselves. I help managers to develop people. And I also do recruitment, so I make people join and integrate into a company. So I've, I guess, quite some experience that I can hopefully share with everybody. Looking forward to your questions, and I'm handing over to Marion.
Thank you, Tobias, and hello, everyone. I am based in Frankfurt and I come with 15 years of recruiting experience, both as an agent within a recruiting agency and in-house experience. And I've covered recruitings in Europe and globally, and I'm very much looking to getting your questions. Thank you, and over to Nicole.
Hello, everyone. Nice that you join us. I'm as well, like Tobias, self-employed. I'm in recruitment. I try to fill as fast as possible the open positions from diverse companies, diverse industries in Germany and Europe-wide. And yes, I'm also here to help you with your questions.
Perfect. So I can introduce myself too. So my name is Christelle Pilot and I am life and career coach. Before that, I was a chemical engineer. I worked for different companies. I asked headhunter to help me to find my talent. And I decided about 10 years ago to move to building my own business and to help people to feel aligned with their leadership vision, their DNA. So what is my mission? What is my vision? What are my values? What are my strengths, in order to be able to give that to their employers or maybe to open their own business. So for me, it's all about helping people to feel aligned and to share the world, their talent and their strengths and their impact. We are all happy to be here. If you have already questions, so I'm sure you have questions for us, for maybe you are in the transition right now, maybe you would like to go to next step and you are not sure how to do that. Please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat. However, I have already questions for you guys. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
So one of my clients, she is in transition right now. And she, before that, she never really have been very present on LinkedIn. And now she's looking for a new job. She knows exactly what kind of job they would like to have. But the question she asks herself is, really, do we need to go on LinkedIn in order to be seen? Is it really the first platform that headhunter, talent acquisition expert use in order to find the right talent? So, what is your question to that? Or what is your answer to that?
I can start, and I would definitely say, yes, that's just the time. It is absolutely helpful to have a LinkedIn presence, but I would say start with a simple thing. Have a nice picture, a clear statement on what you're doing or what you have been doing and what you're searching for, and then just start. If you haven't done so, start building your network very thoroughly and engage. It's not gonna pay off today, tomorrow, immediately, but today it's definitely the platform globally where people who are interested in job changes, in a move, should be present.
So for you, it's like having the right picture, having the right headline. That's almost the most important. But you said as well that connecting is important to grow the network. Is it important?
Exactly.
It's not only about having a profile. It's more than that.
No, exactly. It needs to live, it needs to breathe, it needs to evolve. And so when you meet people at events or in the workplace or wherever, try and find out what they can bring to you and what you can offer to them in return. It's really a network. It's give and take, right? Like from my perspective, I can say I get tons of requests. Tons. Let's put it into figures, around 50 a day. I'm not going to accept 50 people a day, obviously, because I need to think, okay, is that person going to be of interest to my industry? Is that person relevant for my profile? Or can I even add value to that person? So I might not accept everyone, but I will give a response to everyone and give a tip or help on anything. But that's really important. You need to be willing to give, but also to take, and it's really an exchange, and that's what networks are about, right?
Yeah. If I may add, I fully agree, and it's the title is Aligning Talent and Opportunity, and LinkedIn is one of the opportunities that you have. So is it necessary? Probably not if you have a different network that works well. But having an actual updated LinkedIn profile and being active in LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to spread information about yourself, about your experience, and you're easily accessible. So people can find you. So it's just a chance you can use and you should use, in my eyes. And it is also sort of a job market. That's also important for me because if I come to companies, I always drive the managers to be active in LinkedIn so they can spread the vacancies. So LinkedIn is, in my eyes, a good platform to find vacancies. And the last thing is you can actively access people. If you're looking for a way into a company, you can look for people working in that company and just contact them and try to find a direct contact within the organization and don't have to make the work around the HR department. So I think LinkedIn is a valuable chance, and the best thing is to use it.
So LinkedIn is interesting so that you can have your profile and people can see who you are, but as well it's important because then you can connect, so you can grow your network. It's one way to grow your network. And then it's as well interesting, so in order to really try to find out who is the right person in the company you would love to work with, so that you can have the direct contact and not go through HR departments where so many people are there and to be seen. So it's one way to be seen differently. So there is different strategies that you shared already. What do you think, Nicole? So what is your takeaway from LinkedIn?
Of course, it's very important to have a profile there because as we know in our friends, they're telling us, oh, I'm not happy in my job and I look for something else, but I don't have a Xing or I don't have a LinkedIn profile. So I tell them, okay, it's about data protection, data privacy, but I mean, nothing happens there, right? Nothing bad. So you should be in there, because me as a headhunter, when we have to fill positions, they are also very, everyone is looking for the same talents. Everyone is looking for the same, let's say, candidates from my perspective. And there of course, it's a big, it's much easier when everyone is in LinkedIn to find them. But what I experience, even if you put open to work or not open to work, it doesn't make a difference. When you're open to work, that's also a big discussion on LinkedIn. They say, oh, it's not so good because then you offer yourself. I think it's good. But if you don't react then to the approach of a headhunter, I don't understand it. Why then you put open to work? Sometimes people cannot be openly. So for me, it doesn't matter if it's open to work or not. I approach them anyway. And hopefully the position and the client I have is attractive to the candidates. So, and what I would add, when you look for a certain job and maybe you did some different stuff, put the keywords there. It's very important. We search for keywords for special experience, for special skills.
So how do you search? Do you have like a search system or search agent on LinkedIn and you put the keywords and then you have profile popping up? Or how do you do that?
No, it's not that easy. They all tell you it's easy and also AI automated. But sometimes, like we also as a headhunter, we have to see also the things you don't see on a profile, because when you more look in a technical field, engineering field, they don't put out so much information. So you can read the profile very well, but also what you read is not what it is. So the best way also for me is to get in contact with the person and ask and have really a personal conversation to understand where the person stands today and where this candidate want to be in the future. So we directly discuss if the position I have would be very interesting for this person or not. But sometimes I have to admit, you cannot see everything. For sure, everyone, we as well, we get a lot of approaches and they will sell us some great positions. And you see they are generic or AI automated messages. And you think, wow, they haven't even looked at your profile, because if they would have, they wouldn't have approached me for this position. It's not a fit at all. So for me, no matter how your LinkedIn profile is, the best is everything is structured. But if not, the most important thing I think is to get in connection and to get into the conversation.
Okay. Do you have something to add on that, Marion, Tobias?
Yeah, still agree that
I
LinkedIn
totally agree. And if I just may say so, sometimes just get you over a phone for 10 minutes like that to share some insights. I mean, that's obviously not always feasible, and probably most of the time not feasible, right? You need to address someone with a quite clear query, really focusing on why that person may guide or help you or whatever, or why you have been recommended to that person by whom. So make sure when you contact an HR professional, be it a headhunter or a talent expert within a corporate firm, to just really clearly state what is it that you want and in what regard you think that person could be helpful, because all our time is limited. We do have our projects that we currently work, and I remember when I was a headhunter, candidates kept calling and calling, when do you have a job for me, when do you have a job for me? Well, that's not how it works. We do have jobs and we fill those jobs with the candidates. It's not the other way around. I mean, there are agencies who do candidate reverse search, but that is not what a classical headhunter does. So sort of, I would put it as do your homework and address the right people with your query, because otherwise it will get lost and you won't get a response because everybody's time is precious.
Yeah, can I add something there? And that's a good point what you said, because some they think we are a job hunter. We are not. We get our search mandates from companies. Companies are our client as a headhunters, and they brief us what kind of position they have to fill now, and we need to work on this project, on this search, to fulfill this position, and quite fast. So we are really concentrated on this search. And just to give you an idea, when we are now very technical, electro-technical engineers, we approach 300, 400 people to fulfill one position. So and when we have more positions to fulfill, we have hundreds, thousands, sometimes people we have a look at per week. So a job, and also a headhunter would consult you if it would be a fit to the position, to the vacancy they have. If not, then Christelle is your person to talk to, because she's the career coach and she can give you tips right away, actively, what you can do to find the right position or the right person to talk to. We don't have the jobs. I would like to have them all, but it's not the reality.
No, I agree with that. We have a question in the chat, and I found this question very interesting. It's from Daria, and she said she's looking for a job in learning and development, and she has experience in this area, but only in Russia. She is now in Germany. And what tips do you have for people from other countries, like trying to find a job in Germany, for instance, but I think it's exactly the same problem in Europe anyway, or somewhere else. So what kind of technique would you suggest her to take? Or so I can start. I think exactly what you shared already is really like have a nice LinkedIn profile, and this LinkedIn profile should very quickly let us understand that it's exactly what you look for, what you are looking for, like learning and development. And then is trying to figure out the company that you would love to work with, trying to figure out in this company, the right person that could be like a snippet or an entry in this company, and see if they are looking this kind of person. So exactly what Marion said before, it's like connecting with a purpose, and it can be direct. It's because people on LinkedIn, they know they are here for that, to ask questions, to get questions. So it can be very direct. I have seen your company, I love your company, and I am in this area, and I'm looking to figure out what do you do, and if there is some opening, and what is the culture of the company. Is that okay if I ask a few questions? And then usually people, they are great. They are great people on LinkedIn, really. And if they are present, if they have enough time right now, they are going to answer your request. And that is one way to connect with people. If we stay on LinkedIn, that would be one strategy that I would suggest. But maybe, and if we are not on LinkedIn, the same strategy outdoor. So outside is like to go on event, to go on network events, and to do the same. Like to say, okay, here it's what I'm looking for. And do you know someone, or do you know a company, or to go in very specific conferences as well in this field? That helps as well. So we need to try to figure out exactly what says Marion again. So like do your homework and be creative. And that's why, like in my groups, so we have groups in order to get as well brainstorming and to get idea from others, in order to say, hey, did you try that? Did you try that? Or that's great, but just try more, because only 5 connections is not going to make the job. So it's maybe 100 that you need to do. It's just the same strategy, but more in order to have more impact in what you do. So it's like being visible. It's all about being visible, and to show how unique you are, and to find your strengths, and to say, okay, I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to to do massive actions, but not like in every direction, like massive, clear actions with a plan, and at some point it works because you get nuggets and then you can continue to go along the way. So that would be my like first very direct answer, but maybe you people, you have some other idea you can share.
Yeah, I
To
would like
Daria.
to add something because if I read the questions, you're saying, Daria, I have experience in this area only in Russia. This sounds like a negative thing, but it
Exactly.
is a positive thing. You have the experience of learning and development in Russia. So this might be an asset that you can use in the German market. So I would like to change this perspective from only to I have an asset. And then you have to look for companies who need this asset because they probably interact with Russia or are Russian, but in Germany. So I would make an asset out of it and not a deficit. And the next thing I would do is try to find out what exactly is the difference between learning and development in Russia and in Europe or in Germany or wherever, because I think learning is quite comparable. I could imagine the career development in Russia may be different to the career developments in Germany or in Europe. So, but I think that's also interesting to find out what exactly is the difference, and then you can formulate your learning goal that you say, I have the experience in Russia, I speak Russian, and I speak German or whatever. What I want to learn is learning and development in the European company, and then you can just connect it, and then you have your story.
And on top of that, just because it happened that I discussed with Daria because she does her homework, she knows so much. So I would, on top of that, suggest write sometimes some posts or to share some posts, helping to figure out what is the difference between Russian and Europe or Germany, so that people can understand that. Because I do, and it's really transferable skills, and it's always looking at what is your uniqueness? Your uniqueness, Daria, in this case, is like you come from Russia, you understand this word that we can't. We maybe think we do, but we cannot understand properly the best way or the way you do. That's definitely your asset. And then sharing the difference, helping people to understand the difference in some posts and so on, that can really be valuable for the people. They are going to start to follow you, and then your network can grow this way. Nicole, do you have something else to share?
Yes, something, because I have a lot of questions, because when I work for international companies and try to fill positions, I speak to a lot of international candidates, and they say, "Oh, I'm qualified. I don't get a reply. What's happening?" Sometimes it's also, most of the times, it's also the language topic. So if you, for me, a lot of rejections I get from my customer, it's a German. So I would, I don't know you, so I don't know your German level, but when you work on the language, that would be a big asset. That's the more, when there's everything, you have all the skills, but sometimes, or most of the times, the language is the missing skill, and that's why you don't get the job. And that's so sad, but of course it takes time to learn the language. But I would also focus on this, that you can put in level C1, of course, would be the best, B2 or C1. Great.
B2.
Okay, that's great. Good German skills, and put it there.
Perfect.
What kind of skills that you say verhandlungssicher, or that really helps.
Or, I mean, if we turn that other question round, because there may be other people in the group who don't have German skills, in fact, well, then focus on the language skills that you have and target those companies where German might not be even necessary. So they do exist, right? So that is just going back to the initial search that you, as a candidate on a job market, on any job market, need to do. Which companies could be interested in my profile, in my level of experience? Which companies
We have some trouble.
We're losing.
Yeah, we are losing Marion. She's in a hotel. But I agree with her, and I can continue what she's saying is that it's important. So if you don't speak German and you know it's going to take age, Marion, we lost you. So that's why it took
Yeah,
over.
connection is a bit bad.
Yeah. So if you are in Germany and so my client are international people, so usually we have this kind of problem. So that maybe the German is not good enough yet. So we decide to focus on, again, where is your asset? So where can you bring your skills? And if you are an international person, if you speak different languages but maybe not the local language, so use that and go in companies where eventually you don't need your German right away, and then you can build it, your German or some other language, because I work more globally. And don't try to fit in, sometimes don't try to fit in a box where you are not a good fit for. So if you apply in a company, when we take German, if you apply in a company where it's really very German and you don't feel comfortable there, you are maybe too international for this company, maybe it's just not the right fit. And again, do your homework. So look at what kind of company can be the good fit for me. And I come back with doing the homework as well, because I think it was two days ago or something like that, in a group on LinkedIn. In a group, someone's shared, I would love to find a work in Germany, and I come from, it was Copenhagen, or I don't remember. And I really quickly look at his LinkedIn profile, and it was everything in not in English, not in German. It's like maybe you just should first put your profile in the right language. And say, oh yes, my God, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I mean, we have no clue what you do because nobody can answer that right now. So yeah, so it's again, so think me, denkt mit. So think, and then you can find things. Another question right now, very interesting as well. I feel very frustrated by the lack of offers for experienced manager. When you are top level in your industry and you want to look for something new, I know you should use a network, but do you know sources where I can find offers for experienced top managers? C-level, C-suite level, how these people can find the right opportunities. In this case, we are in this opportunities field. So what do you think? That's a good question, because it's definitely, yeah.
Who likes to start? Tobias, Marion? Or
Well, you obviously have something on the tongue already, so I'm
no,
gonna take the next step.
yes,
Yes,
that's
this is one for you.
I would start, and then we add all our experience. So that's true. There's not a specialized platform at the moment. I talk to a lot of experienced C-level managers because of the actual situation. But in general, these positions, it's like always on the top. It's like this. So let's say you say in German, die Luft geht wird dünner. It's very rare because we are here in like how do you say in English, verdeckter Arbeitsmarkt, like hidden in a hidden area. You don't have this position out. They're normally only out over headhunters. So, and these headhunters, as we said at the beginning, actually we headhunters don't help you. Maybe I do. Ask some of my candidates. I also do help them and support them. But the platforms would be maybe Expertier. You have to pay normally. But if it really helps, it's another question, but that would be a platform. Expertier, also LinkedIn always, but you need to take on the responsibility to search the next position for yourself at the end. And then ask your, when you have all these years of experience, ask your network, like the people you worked with, you can trust from maybe 10 years. Think about it, because sometimes you don't think about the nearest or closest connections, because you think, or actually they know that I'm searching, but they don't know. I experience it that very often, that people don't know what I'm doing, or we don't talk about it, and they say, hey, I have this, and I'm like, oh, let's talk. You have really target this this topic with trusted persons, and then headhunter to recommend. I mean, you can, Agnes, you can approach me directly, and I can give you a list. But then it depends on the individual, on the person who, if they help you. There are a lot out there. So I can have a call with you directly, because here I don't want to spread any names or whatever. We can talk about that. So Marion, Tobias.
Marion, if it's okay, then I take over. My experience is that sometimes people are frustrated because they apply to so many. Because they apply to so many vacancies.
Absolutely.
And I think we're both talking now, Marion. Somehow it's difficult.
Maybe.
I try to mute her, to be honest.
Okay.
Oh, we're mean.
We won't tell her.
No,
okay,
but
let me just reformulate. The problem is sometimes that people are not really clear about what they should look for. It's so important to find something new that the something is more important than the concrete thing. So make up your mind. That's what I'm trying to say. What exactly you need. Work out your profile so that you can really point out the assets that you have, as we had with Daria with her Russian experience. Make it a valuable profile that fits exactly to the right thing, and then again start talking in LinkedIn about exactly what you're looking for. Raise the topics that you are an expert in, and then it will develop, I'm sure. But it's easier the clearer you are in what you're looking for.
Yeah, and I fully agree. About it's really about personal branding, and that's more like kind of my job, is helping you to find out your strengths, what you are passionate about, what you want to do next, and then to make it crystal clear in eventually your profile, but in your mind first. When it's clear in your mind, then it's going to be clear on your profile, and then it's going to be clear what kind of strategy you can adapt. So what kind of people you want to connect with, maybe new people, or what kind of message you want to share with your network. And I come back to what you said, Nicole, as well. It's like really, again, be clear about your communication with your network, even the closest friends, or maybe the ones that are a little bit away from you. Because even if you say, yeah, I'm looking for something new, they kind of register it, but it's not something that they care about, because they have a ton of things to do as well. But if you tell them, look, I'm looking for that, and that would be helpful if you have an eye for me, open, and to be very clear about what you are looking for, so that they can think with you, or just be aware that, oh, it's exactly what she was looking for, and then they can come back to you. But if we don't have like a clear intention for ourselves, we cannot give this clear intention for the others, and they cannot be clearer than what we are ourselves. So that would definitely be as well. So my kind of tips. So Marion, you wanted to add something on that?
When you unmuted her?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But she's not there anymore, I think. Marion, are you there?
So trying again. I would also suggest, Agnes, you connect with close, I would say, former colleagues or people in the workplace that you trust, and ask them, do you have a good headhunter to recommend me? And then you can approach that person saying that you've been recommended by XYZ, and then you have an intro already, and then you can just find out if that headhunter might be of help for you. It might not be the right industry, but they know each other, and as Nicole said, they can pass on a name to you within another firm, right? So it's all, again, going back to networking and daring to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get, but it's about asking the right person. So maybe you've been doing that already and it just hasn't paid off because maybe no one in your network had been, placed via headhunter. But if you ask, I'm sure you would get some interesting answers. So I encourage you to do that. And personally, I think it's really good over time to develop your own network of 2-3 headhunters that you trust, that have sort of seen your evolution.
Yeah, so again, having clarity, that's so important, and then having the right people, or finding the right people, finding, like Marion said, so finding the right recruiters and having this person around can help. We have another question, very interesting question as well, is like, currently, it's a person that would like to move from academia to industry. And that is like PhD in microbiology in Germany, and then she's in academia. She would like to move to industry. So I had like a few candidates for that. So so she would like to know what recruiters mainly focus on these candidates, like candidates who coming from academia and wanting to move to industries. And do you have some advice for me to fit in the job market? I would love to have your insight. I have some things to say, but if you want to say your thoughts, I would love to hear your thoughts, and then I can say what I have seen and how I help people to do that.
Now, who's to start? Nicole.
Okay. Yeah, that's very good question, because it's that's difficult, like microbiology. Okay, so first I would also concentrate what kind of companies would you target. Is it pharmaceutical, biochemical, biotech, or others in related fields? So this first. And then there are very specific job fairs you could go to. I mean, of course, what we mentioned, it also fits here, like LinkedIn, of course, but there it's there are more. When you like to change from university, PhD to industry, there are a lot more candidates out of, I explained now very generic, more candidates out in the market. So you have a quite big competition. So job fairs where you can contact the right person directly and have a conversation with this is very important to build a very personal relationship. This I would suggest. And when you say, I just have to see, you said, no, sorry, where is it? German B1. German B1, also the same topic. Try to get a B2, and then also to C1. This will make your life in regarding to job search much easier.
Yeah,
that's my. So
Okay.
I have to leave something.
But my experience in big pharma is that it's a very international business. So I think it is important what you say with the language, but especially there, I would just guess English is also very common in this area. If you're coming from the academic field, the industrial pharma offers a lot of more things to do. Like they have to, it's not developing new medicaments, but also producing them. It's bringing them into the markets. It's selling them. The regulatory affairs issues are very important. So they're extremely interesting things. So if you have the chance to have a contact into a big company and just ask, what are you doing around developing that stuff, gives you a good input, I could guess. So, but it's really thrilling what different things you can do besides developing medicine. It's really cool.
I fully agree with you what you said. So there is fairs for that. So I have been invited next month to do talk about that, exactly about that. So how to move from academia to industry in the pharmaceutical world. So it's really like exactly this topic. It's going to be in Heidelberg next month, and my speech is going to be exactly about that. So what I would suggest as well, PhD. So that means that you are going to be in a leadership role at some point. And it's really like to look at, be sure that you understand your strengths again. Be sure that you can think about the transferable skills from academia to industry. Be sure that you understand the mission and the vision of the department and the company you eventually would like to work with, and to think about your leadership skills, because the company, if they hire a PhD, they want to see if you can go in a upper level too, and then we come in this personal branding and these leadership skills. What do you bring on the table in order for them to understand that you are not only good at the microbiology, but you are good in teams, you are good in a leading project, you are good in maybe leading people, and that's going to help as well. There is fairs, that's a great thing. When there is like this very specific branch or fields, there is fairs for that, and then you can really go and speak with the people directly. If you don't have the feeling about the industry, then go and speak with the people. Then you are going to get the feeling, you are going to get, okay, here it's what they want. And then again, you can translate that in your DNA, in your LinkedIn DNA as well, and then touch the right people and be able to sell yourself. That is what I would suggest to do. Marion, you want to add something on that?
Absolutely right. And there are plenty of jobs really with that skill set in demand. So I've been recruiting when I was in a recruitment agency a lot in the engineering and chemical engineering field. And I know a lot of clients are in demand of especially that profile. So just keep looking. I'm sure you're gonna be successful. We have another set of questions that came in, Christelle. Maybe let's focus on that. Looking at the time.
Yes, one question is what can we do when we want to go back to work after a long career family break? And maybe how to put that in a CV or again LinkedIn. So how can we work with that or around that? Do you have some ideas, people?
Well, it's a little bit, I have to say, it depends on the job you've been into. So if, for example, current knowledge of the latest SAP release is relevant for the job that you used to do and you've lost 10 years, then you need to update your knowledge I'm not
sure if you can hear me now, but I'm going to a little bit of a spoiler. It is not easy. It is not easy to find a job after a long career break. So spoiler, be patient. But to be honest, I would not apply for any trainee or practica jobs. You have been doing something else that is experience, that is taking care of a family or doing some other care jobs. So focus again on the transferable skills that you developed during that time of the labor market, but instead focusing on resilience, empathy, or those other soft skills that you absolutely did develop. Maybe it is worth taking a look not necessarily at 100% roles, because you will compete with people who are maybe super fresh from uni, or with a super degree, or with already exactly that experience. And it's always a fact of a comparison when we do have someone maybe with 10 or 15 years life experience, but not necessarily job experience, and on the other hand we have 10 to 15 years of job experience. Unfortunately, companies do tend to go the easier way, and they will like 70% maybe only, but where you will really be able to bring your strengths in.
Thank you, Marion.
Could also I add something on this?
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, I know the company side and their requirements, and these are normally always very high, also for us. They think there is no shortage on the labor market. Sometimes it really actually not is, but the requirements are so high that even when everything would fit, they like that the person lives in the area, for example, on Schwäbische Alb or Black Forest, right? And then I have no chance to convince them to talk to my candidate, even if the candidate says no problem, I commute, just to get now the link. Because of these high requirements, there's also an option. They have maybe a not so positive image, but in this case, it could be positive for you. When you go to, how do you say, Zeitarbeitsfirmen, like temporary working agencies, because there they have a lot of contacts to companies, and they really need someone next Monday or yesterday, right? And then the requirements of those, they say, okay, this person has experience in that and that, that's great, we need that. And they lower the
Less.
requirements, and it's
Mm.
easy to get a foot into the door. And then also you can try it out, and when the company is great or the job is great and it's not 100% fit, but it's 80% fit, or it will develop in a 90% fit, then you have a potential there. And then when there's a fit, you can say, okay, I like to work there. And the agency says, okay, to the company, they have to pay a different, like a special rate. And then you have like, how do you say, you have access to more companies as when you would apply directly, because then you have another competition.
Mm.
And
What do
most
you think,
people
Tobias?
don't have this in mind to go to the temporary agencies. It's much more easier and you have a win-win-win situation for all sides.
What do you think, Tobias, about this?
Yeah, it's helpful. It definitely is. I still have my point. My knowledge has to be updated probably, and either I can do it myself and prepare it with a Weiterbildung or something. It might be correct, but the way with the temporary thing is a good approach. To go into the market wherever it is, just to make the experience. And being temporary somewhere is my business as an interim manager, and it's also thrilling. It is a good thing to speed up, to learn, and having the clear focus that this is not the last step, but others will come is valuable. It's helpful, but it's not a danger.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
think it would be a good approach.
Yeah, I like that. And what I take from all what you said is, and because indeed we arrive, so we still have few minutes. So if you still have one or two questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. But what I hear from what you say is that, again, it's very individual, and we cannot say, oh, there is this one strategy and that's it. But it's really like, depending after 10 years, if you come back and it's more like, I don't know, like a sales job, relationship job, and so on. So maybe you don't need any kind of training practical whatsoever, because it's relationship and didn't really move that much. But if it's more a technical job or scientific job or whatever, there's things moved around during these 10 years, and right now even more with AI arriving, so there is so many shifts and moves and so on. I just did a post on LinkedIn to say we are in this VUCA world, so where there is a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, and it's going to go even more exponential in the coming years. So it's the right moment to think about, okay, maybe I should think about learning something, learning about AI, learning how AI can move around the things in the coming years, because it's going to happen, even if we don't like it. It's not a question if it's going to happen, it's a question when and how quick it's going to happen, and what kind of impact it's going to have in your area right now. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. And that is where I would suggest, look at what you want to do. Again, be clear about what you want to do, be clear about your strength, and so your transferable skill. Even if it was at home, you have a ton of them that you can use. You can put in your CV and LinkedIn and personal branding and so on. And then is depending of your area. So maybe you have something to top on. So like a trainee or something like that. Definitely, that might be important.
There's another question, Christelle.
Okay.
Maybe you could also answer the last from Agnes.
I heard from a few contacts that the topic feminine power is already out in the companies. There is move back to the well-known. Oh. Is this your feeling?
No. No.
No, it's not for me.
It's again, so the female empowerment is probably out because it's not more that you fill functions with female people because it has to be a woman. I think it's out because it's more and more the competencies that are relevant. I think it's just not relevant anymore. That's my experience. It really is. We're out of that we're talking about. I need a woman or I need a man. I don't experience it anymore. It's the competency profile that we're looking for.
Yeah, that's the same what I experienced. The companies want to have the right person, and no matter female or male.
Mm-hmm. What I can feel, but it's maybe because of my profession now, because I help international people, but more like international women, right? And so I get hired in to do talks in companies, in big companies like big pharmaceutical companies, to speak about leadership of tomorrow, to speak about female empowerment and how to help women to feel more valued or more in their own power, in order to get this to get in these leadership roles and so on. For me, is very, very present, and not only in the women mind, but as well it's something that we can more discuss with men, and it's more, I believe as well. I really like what you said, Tobias. It's more about competency, and I believe that nowadays we understand as well that women sometimes we have a set of competency or skills or being how we behave sometimes that is valuable. And now we have statistics, we have studies showing that, and everybody agree about the fact that it's very important and interesting to have women and men working together, because it's where when the balance is there is where we thrive all better. And I believe that we understand that now. Everyone understand that now. So Marion, do you want to share, to add something? Because I know that it's your theme as well.
Sorry, was this for me, Christelle?
Yeah, do you want to add something on this last question about women empowerment or
Yeah.
female empowerment?
I mean, clearly, let's say US-driven firms might do a step back for sure, but it's not the direction that this is going. We may see here and there a step back, but to be better prepared for 2 steps ahead, because the direction is clear that men more women will be in powerful positions. That's just the course of history.
Of history.
Yeah.
Staying positive.
Exactly, positive thinking is the what we have in order to go into this transition, whatever the transition we are in. It's job transition, country transition, AI world transition. It's needed. So I would say it's 1 o'clock. So we said 1 hour. So I would suggest to stop this call. If you in the chat, if you liked it, if you would like us to do another one, just put what can you? Yes, put a yes in the chat, and then we will discuss that if we do another one. And if you want to connect with us, I assume we are all on LinkedIn, all right? So you can take the name, you can connect with us, you can come back in private message and maybe ask your questions. And thank you all of you, Tobias, Nicole, Marion, to be here today, to spend your time, your expertise, to share that so freely. I really, really enjoy to do that with you. And we see us next time again.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here. And yeah,
Thanks.
see you next time, hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
That's great.
Bye,
Bye.
have a nice day. A lot of energy and positivity.
Yeah.